Who better than Derek, Pat, Andrew, the wrestling crew? Man, they bout to put an end to y'all careers like a finishing move. They bout to give y'all facts on these cats that's fighting on these mats. Y'all can't see them like John Cena. Even if y'all had 20/20 vision, y'all better listen, pay attention, and take notes down, and realize that it's not your time now. And watch these three kings take the crown. Ay, ay.
Hey guys, you're listening to Wrestling IQ 101. I'm Andrew, and you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Wrestling IQ 101. And today we're sitting with Jon Harder, man. How is it going, man?
Hey, what's going on? It's Jon Harder.
Oh, sorry.
My mom used to call me Joe, or a little kid, J.O., Big Joe. I don't know what's wrong with that. So maybe you talk to my mother about that. But I'm doing great, man. Thank you for having me on. And I just want to give a shout-out to a mutual friend of ours, Matt Pulaski. I know him better as Whitey growing up. He's the reconnect for this, and I'm very happy that he was able to do that. He's a good kid, and I'm happy we're able to do this together today.
Yeah, John, absolutely, man. And so let's talk about Project Diverge. So what is this, actually?
Project Diverge, this has been an idea that's been formulating inside of me for a long time. Long story short, I've been inside the independent wrestling business as a non-wrestler since 2007, and I've been wanting to do something for a long time, just a wrestling idea-wise. And in my mind, I've always saw wrestling as something outside of the box, something different. So when it comes, well, at least the way it's presented, the way it's put together, the way it's brought out there. So when the idea came about of me wanting to do something, really having the opportunity, the right place, the right time, all the stars aligned. I wanted to bring my perspective, a different perspective of how I see pro wrestling to the table. And this Saturday night, April 21st, 2018, I'm going to be able to do that with Project Diverge. It's just, a different way to bring wrestling with a lot of character development, a lot of stories, just a different perspective on how I see pro wrestling.
Yeah, so what actually goes into building this dream, like picking the people to actually be part of it?
Oh, man, it's obviously first money. As a joke. Obviously, financially you got to make sure you have everything set up for it. But in all truth, this idea, this vision, it's really studying the game and studying the talent that's out there. All 8 guys that are actually a part of this Operation New Wave tournament, this one-night single-elimination tournament idea, there are 8 different guys that I've come across throughout my career, and in some respects, life, that are talented in a multifaceted way. They bring a different style, their own unique styles to the table. Mm-hmm. So, everybody that's involved, they are very unique, and that is why one by one, starting from December 26th, when I made the official announcement, the first video of Project Diverge, we built this thing up, and every week a new participant has been announced, and we've just really brought this to the table. Me and my executive producer, Brian Belzer, who's been a godsend as it comes to making sure we have all the videos right and everything. So one by one, all these performers have been unveiled into what we now have is the Operation New Wave tournament.
Yeah, so John, right before we get to the card, tell people where they can see this event this Saturday.
This event will be at the Old Bridge Elks, 67 Old Amboy Road in Old Bridge, New Jersey. It's minutes off Route 9 and the Garden State Parkway. We are actually, if anyone's driving down Route 9 south, it is right across from a Wawa, in the back of a Wawa. So if you're going to stop in before the show, maybe go get a shorty from Wawa and then come in and watch Project Diverge. The idea behind the show, we were looking to do a limited release of tickets. We've had a first ever event, and especially building it up, we've had a steady stream of online ticket buys. So going into that, we will have a limited availability of tickets at the door, and once we have our tickets sold for that, we'll have 25 standing room only tickets for $5, online tickets, and seated tickets, general admission is $10. So the event will be in the Old Bridge Elks, 67 Old Amboy Drive, Old Bridge, New Jersey.
Awesome, man. So let's talk about this card, man. One of the competitors that will be in action is wrestling's richest prize, Darius Carter. Who will he be facing?
Mr. Darius Carter will be going a one-on-one with the magnificent Giovanni Marranca. Darius Carter, I've known since he broke in, and even before that. He's a guy who is, in my opinion, and has always been my opinion, the most naturally raw, talented competitor inside of the independent scene today, especially out of New Jersey. It is bar none. The kid has raw talent. As a performer, he knows how to rile people up, whether it's on social media or in a live crowd setting. His one-on-one matchup is against a man, Giovanni Marranca, who a lot of people might not really follow. He's had a real underground, underrated following through his career. He really developed in American Championship Entertainment up in Union City, New Jersey, developed under Jay Lethal. And this kid really has really scratched and clawed and really cut his teeth learning the game of professional wrestling. He recently took time away, self-imposed exile because of his frustrations of the wrestling scene. So when Diverge came about, he's like, I want in. And this matchup is one of the marquee matchups and one of the more interesting matchups of this tournament, Andrew. It is really a piece between two men with two different styles, in particular, Giovanni Marranca representing striking, which is dedicated to his rolling elbow strikes and his Muay Thai kickboxing that he's incorporated over the past several years. And Darius Carter, who is a hybrid performer, he mixes that entertainment style with every type of wrestling ability that he has, the British world of sports style, a bit of strong style. Darius Carter is a very well-versed competitor. So this match is a very intriguing one, and I would love to see both men. They're both going to leave it all out there. And I think this is going to be a contest where not only Darius Carter really showcases who he is, but Giovanni Marranca will make his name and his presence felt this Saturday night.
So who do you think has the advantage in this match?
If you want to go based on ring time, especially recently, you're going to go with Darius Carter, because Darius Carter is a man who's wrestled everywhere. I mean, he's wrestled everywhere over the past several months. He went to England in October last year and absolutely brought it out there. Yeah. So if you want to go by ring time alone, Darius Carter, but both men have different experiences, and I think the experience that Marranca has learned, the discipline he's gotten from his Muay Thai kickboxing and all of his different martial arts and striking classes he's taken, combined with learning from Jay Lethal, growing up as a performer, mix it up with Darius Carter's in-ring experience that he's gained. You have a virtual toss-up, and this is going to be a very intriguing match. It's the first round. It's one of the matches, and each match in the first round is a 10-minute time limit. So, we got to see who has it, who can make it past that 10-minute time limit.
Absolutely, man. This definitely sounds like one of those classic matches in the making. Let's talk about another match. Sizzling Stan Styles versus Vince Steele. Talk about that match, and who do you think has the advantage in that one?
Oh, man, Andrew, this is the battle this is literally a David versus Goliath battle. Stan Styles, who's representing entertainment, is out of the penetration station.
Yes.
This man, he is without a shadow of a doubt a complete oddball who I think is very underappreciated. People don't realize that his right hand, that palm strike that he employs, that facial, from all the shake weight stuff that he's done. Stan Styles is very undervalued in the world of pro wrestling as a competitor. I think he's just a gimmick, and I think you're going to see a lot of that this Saturday. But what a man you're going to have to face, a guy 6'4", 435 pounds, in Vince Steele, a Jurassic juggernaut. This guy he's agile, he can go up the top rope, but what he's known for most of all is his power. He is a complete and utter powerhouse inside of that squared circle. So in a virtual David versus Goliath battle, naturally you're going to go with the size. Size always overcomes all. And Vince Steele's the biggest guy in the Operation New Wave tournament, and it is, and he looks like he's going to be the odds-on favorite, but everybody's the same size on the canvas. So let's see what happens this Saturday. It is literally David versus Goliath in this contest.
Would you say if Stan wins, that would be an upset?
Not only do I think that would be an upset, I think that would be a massive shock to the system as it comes to everybody's new wave brackets. I think it's what they call a bracket buster. So, yeah, I think it'll be a massive shock if Stan Styles pulls this out. And I wouldn't put it past him, but on the flip side of things, Vince Steele is a monster, and monsters are very hard to contain.
Absolutely, man. Let's talk about another match here. You know, Ricky Richards and Tim Hughes. I mean, they're going to do some battling. Another clash of styles in this one.
Oh, absolutely. And Tim Hughes is a man I've known. He's similar to Darius Carter since he broke in. But unlike Darius Carter, Tim Hughes, it took a while for him to find his way. Tim is a very old-school guy, and he started his career in the Ace Wrestling Academy and suddenly found himself on an island onto his own once the school closed down. Mm-hmm. So Tim went to the Monster Factory, scratch and clawed under Danny Cage. He went to the ROH dojo, learned under Delirious. And then he met literally his wrestling soulmate, his wrestling father, Brutal Bob Evans. And Bob Evans literally has had Tim under the learning tree for the past couple of years, learning the ways of old school wrestling. He does the drives. He's done everything, and he's learned everything that Bob has had to teach him, especially with the old school values. Mm-hmm. So with Tim Hughes and everything he's done against the guy in Ricky Richards, who's the guy from Long Island, a diehard Islander fan. This guy, he's a violent individual, and he's a cerebral individual as well. He's got a mean streak a mile long once he gets set off, and he's got that New York Islander magic. And I know that might get some grief to a lot of Jersey residents, to the Devils fans, especially up there in the playoffs. Yeah. But Ricky Richards, he bleeds orange and blue for the Islanders. He is a hockey goon. He brings that toughness and that cerebralness to the table. And Tim's going to try to run. Tim's going to try to duck and dodge. But Ricky Richards is about two things: fist-to-fist combat and beating somebody down. So it's going to be a fight between those two, and it's going to be fist of plenty this Saturday night.
Yeah, I mean, who do you think might pull the victory out in this one?
At this point, I mean, I don't want to go and try to make a prediction on it because for everything, Ricky Richards and his violence, he might be cerebral, but his emotions might come into play. Meanwhile, Tough Tim, he's primarily a tag team specialist. I mean, he's really wrestled a lot of tag team matches overseas and really hasn't had a chance to step his game up into singles competition. So it's just a battle of wills here. Who's going to have it? And it doesn't have to be the prettiest match. It doesn't have to be the best 5-star catch can. It's just who's going to want it more, who's going to pull it out in that one. And it's about just will to win between these two. And I think either way it'll be very entertaining to see.
Yeah, absolutely. And a guy that I've really respected is Too Hot Steve Scott. He'll also be in action. Who will he be facing?
Too Hot Steve Scott, the selfie superstar, a man who learned also on the Joe Eagle, faces a protege of his. And this will be the match that opens up the Operation New Age tournament this Saturday night in Old Bridge. He'll be facing a man named Tom O'Malley. Tom O'Malley, formerly one half of the BS Express, wrestled in the independent scene. This guy, an amateur wrestling wizard. This guy's a scientific wrestler. He understands the game of wrestling. This guy learned under Jay Lethal Andrew as well. 3 lethal experiments inside of this one tournament. O'Malley is a guy, he's 6'2", he's 275 pounds, he's got raw strength, but he has an uncanny nature to take it to the mat. He's a scientific wrestler. On the other end of things, you got Steve Scott, a guy who throughout these Project Diverge videos, he's a guy who's about speed. He wants to showcase that his speed, his fluidness inside of the ring is as valuable as the speed he has when he snaps a selfie of himself. He has something to prove.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Andrew, this is going to be something very particular. I mean, Steve Scott is outsized in this by a couple inches. He's definitely lighter than Tom O'Malley, but a lot of people are going to be talking about this. This is going to be the one to set the pace for this Saturday night. And the winner of this, I have a great feeling, will go on and then make themselves known throughout the Operation New Wave tournament, but I'm just going to say it right now. Steve Scott has a lot to prove. And if anybody in this thing, after all the trials and tribulations they've been through the past few years due to injuries and then setbacks because of said injuries, it is too hot Steve Scott, Andrew. It's a kid who has really earned this opportunity to make an impression and to set the stage for the Operation New Wave tournament.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And I can attest to that. I saw him what he's done in Jersey All Pro and Synergy. So yeah, he's definitely, it's definitely be a huge one for him for sure. Plus,
absolutely, and I think he's one win away, Andrew, from really, just one win away in general from really cementing himself as a force to be reckoned with. And if he could pull this one out this Saturday night, if he pulls off this first round victory, the first match to open up Operation New Wave, people will be talking. And I feel like Steve Scott's got something to prove. I really do.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Plus, there's going to be a fatal four-way, WildMan Kong, Prince Akkanatan, Mike Dell, and Gabby Ortiz. I mean, what a collection of superior athletes in this match. How'd this come about? And I got to ask you, man, who has the advantage in taking the win in this one? Because this is anybody can win this one. Everyone has a 25% chance.
Oh, exactly. The minimalizing of the victory from the normal 50-50 ratio, either you win or you lose in a singles match. You go to a four-way, like you alluded to, Andrew, it literally is 25% chance. If the win goes down, you have a 75% chance of losing this thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if I got the ability to do the Scott Steiner math system, but the real answer is with this. This match came together due to my hype man for Project Diverge, MC Monty Max, who necessarily isn't a big wrestling fan, but he is a fan of, he knows what the people want when it comes to entertainment value. And what's more entertaining than a complete car wreck, a styles clash, 4 styles within one match. It's going to be an elimination rules encounter between 4 people. WildMan Kongo, a guy who was selected by Tough Tim Hughes. Everyone in this match was selected by one of the competitors with their style. Tim Hughes selected WildMan Kongo. They've done the drives with Brutal Bob Evans. Kongo is a man. Can anyone survive the concrete jungle? He's a savage, man. He's a monster. He's figuratively and literally a wild man. You got Mike Dell, a guy who I think a lot of people mistake as he's a hybrid competitor. No doubt within anything. Darius Carter selected him to uphold the code of hybrid. Mike Dell is a guy who I think is starting to rise above and starting to really find himself inside of the ring. And I think Darius Carter showed the same thing when he was selected. Prince Akkanatan, the Vial of the Nile. He's a man from Cairo, Egypt. He's definitely a little out there, but he said it out there. He wants to put smile on people's faces, and he's hyped up. Stan Styles and him, they get along quite well. So Stan Styles believes Prince Akkanatan, the Vial of the Nile, can pull this one out. And lastly, Gabby Ortiz. This girl has a pedigree automatically for success. She's made her name for herself. She's a cult figure in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. She's been to Japan. She's trained under Stardom. She's come home. She's wrestled with Women of Honor. She did a Jersey All Pro. She's working her way out there, and I'm a big fan of what she brings to the table. And it's not about who you are, what gender you are. It's about your talent ability. And I think Gabby Ortiz brings that speed style to the table. And you're going to see, this contest is going to be a figurative styles clash, 4 different styles inside of one match. Who will walk out the king, or in some respects, queen of the styles clash this Saturday night?
Yeah, absolutely. What else can people look forward to seeing at this event?
We're looking to do something different with the live experience as it comes to fan interaction and fan participation. I think that's one thing that's really been lacking in truth, especially going to a lot of live shows. And yes, you have a lot of great in-ring action, a lot of great in-ring competition with performers, but in some respects, I feel like the fan experience at wrestling shows has not necessarily taken a hit. I feel like it hasn't been represented as well as it could be. I definitely feel like with the fans coming out to this show, I want this to be like an environment where people, they have their favorite, their favorite style. They have their favorite person. Who do they think is going to win this thing? And to cheer and boo and really be interactive with the wrestlers and be interactive with MC Monty Max or Hype Man. And just the entertainment value. We want an intimate scene And I feel like the fan participation will be brought out in droves here this Saturday night. Operation New Wave, it's not just about the wrestling, it's about the fan participation, and that is what ultimately brings the fans in and back. And I just want the fans to come out to not only enjoy wrestling, to enjoy the spectacle. This is a one-night single elimination tournament. 4 first-round matches that we've already discussed, plus the 2 semifinal matches, and then the finals for the New Wave Cup, which is gorgeous and beautiful, and it's just spectacle, and it's going to be all about the fan experience. We want the fans to be loud. We want them to be live, because once this is done, we are aiming for a June release when it comes to releasing the content. This is not just a wrestling project. We want to bring it on all spectacles. So be there for this unique experience. This might be the only time it is a project. This might be the only time. This might lead to something. There's a plentiful of different ways, Andrew, on where this can go. All I know is that we won't know until after April 21st, this Saturday night, on what it will entail.
Absolutely, man. Best of luck with that. Where can people, again, find you on social media and get tickets for the event itself?
You can go to ProjectDiverge.com. We have a ticket link. If you want to go directly to the ticket link, it is Diverge and the number 1, Diverge1.booktix.com. It's Diverge1.booktix.com. Or you can just go to ProjectDiverge.com. The link is there. You can go check that out. And tickets will be available at the door. It's only $10 for general admission for 75 seats. And if all those tickets ultimately if we do sell all those tickets, there will be a standing room only ticket for only $5 for only 25 people. So first come, first serve when it comes to those tickets. But I implore all of you who are coming to the event to buy online and reserve yourself a seat and not to worry about possible sellout. That's where you can get a ticket for that, Andrew. Again, $10 for seating, $5 standing room only. There is a bar, people, so if you want to have a beer or two, you can enjoy that at the Old Bridge Elks. Nothing but a good old duels to enjoy.
Absolutely, man. And John, best of luck. Hopefully, like you said, this will lead to a better and brighter future for you guys. This has been Wrestling IQ 101. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and you can subscribe and like this video, and we'll see you guys soon.